Hello, and today we'll be looking at a vapor inhalation, warm vapor inhalation, and we want to show you different methods and ways that you can do this at home. We want to use as much alternatives and try to get you as much alternatives because we know everybody's in a different situation or circumstance at home. So how we're going to first start is very simple, a pot. I believe every home has one of these. And the first thing you do with this inhalation is you want to just take your pot and put it on your stove and get the water hot, boiling, so that you do see the steam and the vapor coming out. And what you're going to do after your pot is boiling, you quickly take it and be very cautious, of course, because it's hot. And you want to put it maybe on a flat platform, an island, or the surface, a counter. As you can see, I put a towel under just for keeping that safe, also for any spills. At this point, I'm going to call my assistant, Martin. He's going to help us. And can you come this way, Martin? I'm going to have you come on this side. And what we're going to do with Martin, we're going to say that Martin has congestion, maybe in the sinuses. He's feeling maybe his lungs feel a little heavy. And we need to open up the bronchioles. We need to open up the nasal passages. If there's any irritants in the nasal passages or in the throat, this is an excellent way to help. You have different ways that you can do this. Now remember where Martin is, right now the steam will be coming up. So Martin wants to be very careful. And Martin has the different choices. I just want to mention this before we move on. This is pine oil, pine essential oil. You can use a different oil that you may have at home, eucalyptus or peppermint, something that's going to help open the passages. But if you don't have, use what you do have, and I'm sure you'll see the blessing. So what we would do normally, we would open it up and we would put about 2 or 4 drops of this in there. These are very concentrated. It doesn't take a lot. And so what Martin's going to do, I'm going to give Martin this towel. It's good to do this with somebody else who is with you. This could be very soothing. And in any of these treatments, it's always good to have another person. And if you are alone and you decide you want to go forward with this treatment, just be cautious. Maybe time yourself at 3-minute intervals. You can set an alarm so you know, okay, I need to take a break. But if somebody's with you, that's not necessary. So what Martin's going to do, we know that the face is sensitive, and we're going to cover Martin. I'm going to ask Martin if he can just hold that. And he's going to do it himself to say his comfort level. Now, he knows what he can handle on the face, so we're going to have him just gently go down to it to where he's comfortable. And the best thing that he can do is if he can have it covered. If at any point he feels uncomfortable, then he just opens it up. As you can see, a lot of the steam would be able to be released. But the best way for this treatment is to have it covered where there's no escape, and most of that heat is going to the face and the nasal passages. So this is one area you can do. Another thing, because sometimes some people, they fight with a towel, or they don't want the towel to go into the water. I'll take that from you, Martin. Another idea is to have your handy umbrella. I know it's not typical to see that in the home, but this is another idea that can be used. And what Martin's going to do, he's going to hold it right here. I'm going to have it still put it on the counter like that. And what we're doing is we're kind of helping the steam to be focused. And I'm going to take a sheet, unfolding my sheet, and I'm going to drape this over the umbrella. And as you can see, I'm covering the sides. I'm doing the same on the other side. I'm covering the side. And this is a simple way so that now you created a tent effect, and now the vapor is staying in a localized position so that it can help open up the passages. This is, again, very effective if you have anybody who just needs that clearing in the sinus area, in the throat, respiratory system. It's a very good treatment for that. And so he can stay there for a few minutes to his comfort level. Everybody handles heat differently. So there's no minutes for all. So go until you're comfortable. Take deep breaths also. And don't be afraid to take a break and back up. And you can always go back into it. You could do this 2 to 4 times a day as needed. Again, this is it's a very safe one if you take the precautions. A very safe treatment and easy to do in any home. Next, what we're going to do is switch over to another vapor inhalation, something that I'm going to show you and share with you that you can also do at home. But this is just one alternative, so we'll move on to the next. And so now for our other segment, we showed you the alternative with the pot. And what I want to introduce you today is a Vicks product. This is a vaporizer. And we'll show you how to work it. It's very simple. You can find this usually at drugstores or a CVS, maybe Walmart, or even alternative brands. But this Vicks one we found to be pretty effective. And right here is a little area you would use, and this is where you would put your oil. If the oils that we talked about in the previous alternative, if you want essential oil or your eucalyptus oil, that's where it would go. We fill this with water, and there's a line here, the max line. So what we're going to do, we're going to have Martin take a seat for us. And we're going to follow the same steps. What we're going to do is create similar tent effect that we did over here. I'm going to rest this on the ground, and you're going to see why. This is the motor portion of it. And this just locks into place. And I'm going to plug this in at this time. And I take my essential oil, very tightly sealed essential oil. And I'm just going to pour it right in that same area that we specified. Okay. And what's going to begin to happen, it's going to heat up, and you're going to see that steam begins to come out. So in preparation of this, I'm going to bring Martin closer. Yep, right there is fine. Oh. I'm going to bring that closer, and we're going to once again, so at this time I'm going to reach for our fateful umbrella, and I'm going to ask Martin to hold it. And what we're going to do is the same process that we did for the partial tent. This is my big sheet, and I'm just spreading it over. To create a tent effect. Now, the more that you can lock this in, the better it would be. And as you can see from this area, this is how you would want your steam tent. And basically, we're doing the same principle that we did over there, but instead they're comfortably sitting in a chair. You can have them on the ground if they're comfortable or if they're younger. And that localized steam would go up, and it would do the same things we talk about in helping relieve the ailments in the respiratory system. You might have seen there, and I'm just going to leave him at this point. And again, if you're doing this with someone, it's good to check on them. Don't assume because you see the umbrella up that everything is okay under there. This is very relaxing. A sedating effect can take place. So you just check on them, talk to them, maybe while you're around. How are you doing, Martin?
Doing great.
So he's still up, which is good. And Just a side note is you can add a little bit of salt to your water just to help with the boiling process. That is optional if you choose to do that. If you forget to do it, you lose nothing from it. But at this point, we're going to let him stay in there. Again, you're doing it until they're comfortable. It's good if they can get it in there for some minutes to make sure until the bronchioles and the nasal passages are opened up. But everybody has a different level of what they can handle. So you work with them. And if they said, you know what, 5 minutes is too much, then you still get benefits from 5 minutes. Some people, they love it. If you're like me, I love heat. And so these type of treatments, I fall in love with very easily. So this is something simple you can do. When they're done, you basically, again, I'm just checking on him. But I'm going to wrap up, and it's very simple, and you can see the vapor is coming out here with that pine oil fragrance. And I'm just going to take that off there. Now, the reason why we like to use the pine oil, it's very good for antiviral properties that it has. We really recommend the pine oil specifically, especially with what's taking place right now in society. This is a very good thing that you can use. But again, no matter where you are or what your circumstance, don't feel like if you don't have the pine oil, you can't be helped. Use what's at hand, and I'm sure that you'll be blessed.